Hey there, welcome back to Workers and Resources Soviet Republic. This is episode 15, and picking up where we left off last time. Right now I'm just doing a little bit of research on some of our commuters, checking the travel times and everything on them, and then gonna go ahead and start with the build of the oil refinery. And that's the reason I'm checking on the travel times. Is at this point I still haven't fully decided what industry it is I'm going to put in, so I'm looking at the mechanical components factory right now. I'm going to come over here and check the various prices of importing materials as well as the export price for the various materials for those industries I'm looking at. Those industries I'm looking at being the mechanical components and the oil. I do end up settling on the oil refinery because importing steel for the mechanical components factory, very little money to be made. And the same goes for like the electronic components, electrical components, not a whole lot of money to be made. Oil, plenty of money to be made. And so now I'm just kind of looking for a nice big area to put that oil refinery, because when I put the oil refinery in, it's not just the refinery itself. I've got to put in a platform or two for the what do you call them, the workers to get up there. I got to put in the station to load the oil products as well as unload the oil itself when I'm bringing that in. I want some room for extra storage for the oil and the various products. And then I'm going to need some more infrastructure to support the area, you know, fire station, fuel station, vehicle depot probably. So just looking around, and I find this nice wide open flat spot up here. And I'm gonna be impatient and use rubles to flatten areas before I eventually decide to throw in a construction office, so that I don't have to keep doing that, because even though it is flat, it's not perfectly flat. So here I got a nice little area set up for storing oil as an input. And now I'm gonna be using 3 tanks for that. I'm also gonna be using 3 tanks to store fuel and 3 tanks for bitumen. So there's my bitumen tanks put in, and now I'm looking to put in the fuel tanks, and I'm trying to leave enough room to get pumping stations in there so I can tie all of those in together easily. There's my train station for loading and unloading. And as well as leaving enough room for the pumping stations, I want to leave room that I can put roads in there, because if one of those were, you know, full up, filled with fuel or bitumen or any of that, it would be a very costly loss, which is why I make a conscious effort to connect all of the various structures with a road, especially in this complex. There's going to be a bit of sad irony in that, though, in the next episode. You'll have to stick around to see that. It's absolutely... It's depressing. No, it was all in good fun. So now I've got to put in the train platform for workers. I'm gonna go ahead and tie that in, and I'm starting all this with just running a single rail, getting that all in. Going into this thinking, you know, just do the bare bones, get this operational, and then I can fully flesh it out. But I end up going all the way before I open the doors, as usual. I just can't help myself, you know. So this part here is a little tricky and challenging, trying to wind this track up towards that interchange for the rails I built earlier, and trying to get the terrain to cooperate, because the terrain definitely doesn't like to cooperate. But I finally get a nice little area cut through that ridge. Now I've got to run along this next ridge, and it's it's more than I'm willing to do just using the track to flatten, as there is some significant height difference here. So I think I think what I end up doing is putting in a bridge here and leaving like a little valley between them so I could run a road. Let's see. Yep, there I go. I'm lowering the area there. I'm gonna be running a bridge across. I love my bridges. There it is. Those bridges work really nice, really. So here we go, having some more height issues. I don't know why it decided to go up there, but we're gonna correct that and bring it back down. And I'm looking and I'm like, geez, it doesn't seem like I ever get any closer to my goal. Keep laying track, lay more and more, and it's still just as far as when I started, it seems. And the cost really adds up. You can see the track I've just laid, it's already over 200,000 rubles worth. And that's pretty insane. But yep, there we go. We're almost there finally. And I'm looking and I'm like, this isn't a whole lot of track for 200,000 rubles. Yep, sure isn't. There we go, just looking at which way I want to tie that in there. And of course this turn's going to give me some trouble because it's like right on the edge of a cliff. I gotta widen that flat area a bit. Now I can run a track along there. Alright, nope, still not letting me. Alright, well, more terrain modification. Come on, track, come on. You can do it. Yeah, the terrain modification in this game, it's one of the functions you've got to get used to and really enjoy doing if you want to enjoy this game, because if you plan on doing anything, you're going to be doing a lot of terrain modification in the game. And I've checked forums and stuff, and a lot of people complain about the road and track laying system in the game and how much it sucks, but I don't know. I don't think it's that bad, really. I think it's actually a pretty good system. It definitely has, you know, its quirks, and it's definitely not as straightforward as some other games, but, you know, this is an early access game, and the system that it uses for laying those tracks and roads really is quite impressive. So, here we got a nice little pause in the video because, you know, let the time run, regain some of those rubles because I'm going to be spending a whole lot of them. But had to give my brain a break for a couple minutes because yeah, the terraforming track laying in this game can hurt the brain sometimes. But yeah, we'll get back to it here. There we go, we're back to it. Just adding in the last bit of double rail I need around the refinery. Now I got to tie these in together, and I'm looking at how to do that. And I'm thinking a nice little tight interchange would work probably best. Of course, that is if I can get the rail to cooperate, which I do. All right. Now it's just a matter of connecting those points together. And that's, you know, doing things like this, you gotta really love the challenge of the track laying and terraforming to get those interchanges working well. I'm gonna go ahead and throw signals on. Haha, not forgetting them this time. Yep, putting that in there, getting rid of it. I don't want any signals on that loop, otherwise trains will get stuck. That's the problem with those really small loops, is rather big trains like the freight trains that I like to run, they tend to get stuck on those. So I try to minimize that issue as much as I can by not putting any signals on those tight turnarounds so that trains will stay back a ways, so to speak. And now I'm running some bypass lines for the freight station I got there. I'm gonna do the same over near the passenger station. It won't be as big of a... It won't be as needed for the passenger station over there, but for this one, it will most definitely be needed, because there will be freight trains sitting in here at this station, and passenger trains will want to be going around them. So having this these bypass tracks is going to be very, very important. And of course, they need proper signalage. We'll throw some chain signals in there leading into it, and signals leading out. And it just so happens I can get a road across there. After I laid all that, I was looking at the road and I'm like, oh god, it's too close. I'm not going to be able to cross a road there. Nope, it worked. This one here, however, is probably going to give me an issue. And I'm like, forget about it. I'm just going to put this track in here and hope for the best. You know, this game loves me too much to hate me like that, right? Right? Well, we'll see. Hey, it does love me. And now I just gotta kind of get creative with these roads and kind of picture where I'm gonna have those pipes and pumps at. But I want to get those roads in there so that I can route those pipes around the roads. Yep, that's gonna give me some issue there. But it works. Just barely enough room. I almost had that station too close. And even still, after doing all this road network here isn't going to be tied into the rest of the country. I'll still have to figure out a way to do that. And considering that would probably be the most traveled portion of the road in this area, yeah, I'll probably be looking at doing some sort of an overpass to jump the rail, rather than just have a railroad crossing and having traffic getting hung up. As well as trying to route it to the interior of this complex and then having it branch out. So even the roads I've got laid now, those may change in the future. I'll try not to, but if they're gonna be a hindrance in the sense of having traffic getting hung up at crossings, then they're definitely gonna have to be rerouted. And right now I'm not really seeing any major issues with their placement. But it's yet to be determined as to if there will be many issues with it. So that pump didn't have a whole lot of options for getting that road out of there, so I had to make do with what I could. And, yep, that's the best I could get out of it. It looks like crap. There we go. That's better. Alright. Just throwing in the pipes. Trying to raise them up so I can get things under where well, not necessarily need to, but may need to. Get another pumping station somewhere around here because I don't know how far the pipes will reach. I know they have a limited range. They go a fair distance, so here I'm just going to be combining all three of those tanks into one line through a pumping station with a 3 in, 1 out. And then I'm going to test the distance limit on the pipes here. I run this pretty far, and I figured that, hey, that's about as far as it'll reach, so I got to bring this pump back a little ways. I'm going to tie that in there. I'll tie 2 of these tanks into this pumping station. And then I'll put another pumping station with this line out and that last tank coming into it. And then that single line will run into the train station there. That's how we will be loading up fuel and bitumen into tanks. Having a nice little look at it there. Trying to see what else I'll need. I need to bring that road around this way. And I'm looking at this pumping station like, how am I going to connect this? I'll try a bridge. That bridge ain't going to do it. And it's, yeah. Yep. Not really sure what I'm going to do about that. Maybe just hope and pray for the best. Those bridges don't want to go in there. Would have been nice if I could have gotten a bridge in there. But it just wasn't meant to be. That pumping station also is an issue. And it's just too steep to run a road straight down and across the tracks. This one won't let me do a bridge either. Yeah, that ain't gonna work. Get rid of it. Gotta get a road in here somehow. There's a road in there. Let's go ahead and flatten this out. There we go. We got some better terrain working there for that road. And reconnect those pipes. There we go. We got a road coming in. And it'll cross all of those tracks. There we go. Everything's tied in with the road. But I don't like roads to nowhere, so I'm gonna try and find a place to send this road. Hey, there we go. Our closed loop road network for the oil refinery. Now just setting everything to build. Get some nice construction shots of everything going up at the same time. Lots to build, lots and lots to build. There we go. Let it build up. Yeah, it's gonna look really cool once everything's operational. We get smoke billowing out of the refinery. We got trains going a million miles an hour around the loop. It's gonna look really cool once it's all running. But that's gonna be it for me for today. Thank you for watching, and as always, have a good one.